She does with her life what she does here. What a life! So welcome to the God Talk, guys. We're substituting for Michael Mack, who is in New York now, perhaps looking for new ways to do his plays. And this is Henry Olivares, Q, approved by Michael Mack.
Approved?
Yes, some people I know he does not approve.
Wow, I'm honored.
One person really only, a dear friend. And Michael Mack likes to introduce the show by we're going to talk about God and faith and spirituality. And just being with Q and I hope, fulfills that for you. We were talking about the difference between need and love. And Q is going to take a shot at it.
The difference between
For
me,
yes.
need and love.
Yes. And if you run out of things to say, we can hide with the next poem, which is called Need Feed. Why don't we do that? To just set it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. And you might sing this if we're lucky.
No.
giving you more wine. Okay, but you're going to recite this dramatically.
I'm going to recite it.
Yes, not recite, but
Need, feed.
Or feel it dramatically.
Our songs are no longer luxury. Our poems now a necessity. We need their healing energy. Our love's no longer luxury. Our cares now a necessity. We need our healing energy. I almost knew this was true for me, but I was too scared to really see. I need love to flow, sing, to be free.
Oh my, so that changes the discussion.
It does, it changes it. You gonna give it a shot, Mike?
I'm going to talk about it, I think. I need these poems. They're not once only. I have pain, great, searing pain, disturbing, wild temper tantrum pains that ask me, really, they haven't quite put it in these words, but they stop bothering me when I can put them in a poem or a song.
Excuse me.
When I put them in a poem or a song.
So you release them.
So that's a need. That is not just a want. I need to write poetry. That's clear. And when I was with my beloved sweetheart, and we're now, I think I need, she's a hospice nurse, and we care for each other, go to medical appointments together and want to help heal each other. I wonder to what degree that, like the second line says, our love's no longer luxury. It feels like I would die. I know I wouldn't. I need that love. I know the difference. I have a friend of mine who easily gets pissed at me for many, as you know, maybe for many good reasons. Yes. And so
I don't get pissed at you for many good
you don't
reasons.
get pissed
but
at me
yeah.
at all. No, you're like, but when she's just very cutting, to say the least. And after I just stick with people, whatever. I've known her for 25 years, visited her home,
And this is a heated discussion Michael and I have had forever. How quickly I am to define a person and say this is not what I want, and how open he is to say, well, we'll see.
well, if it's a friend, I don't give up anymore. I just don't. And I took her out to dinner for her birthday. It didn't help. I'm still pissed. And then I found a book. She's a writer, and it's about writers. And there was one writer she loves. We'll call him Thomas Wolfe. And in the book, it talks about how Thomas Wolfe gets ready to write each day. What he does, how he gets up. And so and I knew she'd love this book because it has all the writers: Hemingway, Fitzgerald. And so I said to her, I'll call her Carol. Carol, I have this book I know you'll love. And could I bring it over? And she was just dissing everything for 5 years. Said okay, and I bring it over, and I knew she'd love it, and she loves the book, and the ice breaks. And excuse the cliche, she might not, and all of a sudden, her heart is opening to me, and I can feel, oh my, there's love between us again. I can now be myself again.
Mhm.
Because I was always so careful before. And it didn't feel good at all. So I need people, as we are now, where we can say shit. And you can say that. I tell you, Q, that's, and so on. Or you can say, Michael, come on, have the balls, call. You want to call someone, you call them
Call 'em.
now. And if you meet them and they're saying hi, and if you like them, man or woman, friendship, work, love, whatever.
Man up.
Yes, so I'd like to keep in touch with you.
Absolutely.
So I need. Maybe it's like what Eric Fromm said. I don't love you because I need you, which I have been in that place. But because now both of us are very okay by ourselves. But I need you because I love you. I love my friend Carol, and I really need that love flow to be mutual between us. So that's my.
Well, thank you, because it really sets, it helps me clear myself on the topic. Need and love. They certainly run parallel lines. They certainly run parallel lines.
So I need our love now. I need our friendship. I could, it would really hurt me very, very much because we love each other. So I need that now, and I'm not afraid. But it's not a needy need. We could not see me for a year if you're into something, or you might move to New York City without asking my permission. I think that very likely might happen, and you wouldn't, and that's okay. And I might not see you for years, but that's different. So it's not needy in that sense. But when you are here, I want and need it to be not like my friend Carol. I need us to be able to have that love that's there, so we can be free with each other.
I agree.
Wow.
But I will move on.
Okay.
I will go on to go further with it. Wow, love and need. Again, love has been distorted to at least for me. It seems like, again, through culture, multicultural.
I'm going to leave that out, though. I wanted you to talk about you,
That's
me, or you and your life. That's
Well,
okay.
it's hard for me to leave it out because I understand that these things have influenced me.
That
through
you
my
can
whole
tell me
life.
how you can give me an example of it influencing you. That's
Okay,
fine.
all right. Love has always seemed to me presented in people and in culture to have some kind of desperation to it.
Now, but I want you to get back to you though. When you were married, was that true? Q was married for a good number of years. This is not just.
Yeah, we were married for 6, together 11 years.
Yeah, so you know. Now,
Yeah.
was that desperation at the beginning, or not, or yes, or at the end, or has it been?
I think at first it was there was some form of desperation. Yeah.
Because you're alone and you think someone could.
Well, because and this is a very good thing. I was alone and I was lonely, whereas now I am alone
You've learned
and
to
not
love
lonely.
solitude. It's a big difference.
But I'm not.
It's a huge.
No, I enjoyed. I learned to love solitude. I've always loved solitude, but I've learned not to be lonely. In other words, I've learned to. I grew in the way that I have been able to find or call people to me that I could be myself with, that I
Yes.
could be open.
And then
with.
it was harder, at least when we were younger.
Oh yeah,
And that's why we're desperate for some kind of connection, which doesn't work so well when when that's the energy that's fueling it.
Yeah, and I think for myself, I tend to see the best in people. And I tend to see. I know his eyes open though. I do tend to see the best in people. It's and sometimes or used to see the best in people, and sometimes to the point where sometimes to the point where it was just delusion.
Yes.
And I think that I think that plays that they played out in a long time. My marriage was good. She is an amazing woman. We had a great deal of respect and cared for each other quite a
And it
bit.
was a good marriage for a long time.
Yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part it was, yes.
And you haven't been in desperation that you're sad it's over,
Yes.
but you haven't been died. You're actually thriving.
Yes.
What is this, the second year now?
Third.
Oh, third, yes. So, but
Third
still,
year.
that took me, I was much more, when I got divorced, way more broken up than you were.
Well,
And I was at the same age as you were.
Well, in my case, I invested a lot into the relationship. I invested a lot into her,
Yeah.
and she thrived. And all that happened is when we separated, I took all of that and put it into myself.
And very well.
Thank you.
Okay, so this ends. I almost knew this was true for me, but I was too scared to really see. I need love to flow, sing to be free. Okay, that's what I said with Carol. Okay, on we go, right?
On we go.
Enough?
We are on October 4th.
Yeah.
October 4th. I'll go first and then you go.
Okay.
Who knows? Problems with what's divine start when feeling God's found. Grabbing God with my mind, I root God from the ground. Stop our life from growing beyond all our knowing.
But I'm going to read it again. That's not so easy, yes? to
No,
get.
no.
Who knows? Problems with what's divine. You believe in God too, yes, big time? Or
I
no?
believe
Yes?
I believe in spirit. I don't like to call it God.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. And why?
Because of all the connotations that go along with the word. I think when
Like
you
a
say
big patriarchal guy telling you
yeah,
what to do?
telling you what to do,
Yeah.
and I don't think that I don't, my experiences is not like that at all. We're co-creating with what we call God, so I
Yes.
call it spirit because it takes away that physical.
But you like physical.
I'm sorry.
You like physical.
I like
You're
physical.
so
but-
physical.
Yeah, I like
You
physical
don't
in
think-
my life.
you don't
but
think
I,
it-
but I don't. But
You
I
don't think it's physical spiritual? You think it's just spirit? That's so unlike you.
There's a fine line between the two. I will say that I believe it's when I say spirit, I believe it's an energy that permeates everything. It's an awareness.
Permeates everything.
Permeates
Yeah.
everything. An awareness that is in
So
everything.
energy is different than spiritual in some ways. But
Not
it has
re-
spirit.
not really.
Energy with spirit, maybe.
Yeah. No, not really.
Yeah, but it also includes hands, and for you, I'm sure, gait, alignment, all those things, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
But it's my spirit that commands it. It's when your spirit is in tune with your body,
Yes.
and that comes through honing what you do and working with it, that the two come together.
Yes. I've been working on that. These poems are supposed to be helpful. Who knows? Problems with what's divine start when feeling God's found. I think I've found God, or grabbing God with my mind. I root God from the ground. That's what I've done. So I think, oh, I've got it, and I lose what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Stop our life from growing, God's and mine and everyone else,
Uh-huh.
beyond all our knowing. It's just, as it does, even us today, blowing our minds, right?
Yes.
So that's clear, yes? Or clearer, or clearer?
Problems with what's
Maybe
divine
not.
start when feeling God found. Grabbing God with my mind, I root God from the ground. Stop our life from growing beyond all our knowing. Explain that to me.
Which part? The whole
Stop.
thing?
No, stop our
Well,
life.
once I root God from the ground and think I've got it, then I'm not like a tree anymore. I'm not grounded,
I see.
and then so that's the end. I think I got it, and I'm killed it.
Sounds very Taoist.
Yes, that's
They
it.
say that the Tao's.
Once you know the Tao,
the Tao that you can grasp is not the
had
true
it, you've
Tao.
lost it.
Yeah.
You've lost it. Same thing. Yes. Okay, next.
All nations under God. My greater us.
May.
Oh.
May.
May.
Yep.
My May greater us always expand, loving free, just promising lands.
And that's it. Nice and simple. This is inspired. Well, you tell me what you think, actually, before I say anything. If anything, you don't need to think anything.
It makes my mind stumble.
Oh, okay. So that's thank you. All nations. This was inspired by, we say one nation under God. And so I want it to be all nations. So may greater us always expand, loving, free, just, promising lands. Maybe all the lands are promised lands. Everybody's land. And so all nations are under God.
It's very Native American.
Yes, okay, good. On we
You
go.
know the Native Americans don't believe we can own land.
Yes.
Because the land owns us.
So I would love our Pledge of Allegiance to say all nations under God.
I like it.
Yep. Oh, and this I believe in. Just the title is.
I think it's very, definitely love grows like a weed once we plant the seed.
Yes, it's really true.
It is very true.
Yeah.
It's like when somebody says, "You're really growing on me."
That too. That's a very nice way of looking at it.
Marrow, bone, blood, flesh, sensing love with each pulse breath, expressed through mess, jests. I like it.
Okay. I'm going to read it too. Love grows like, that was once a poem, but I turned it into a title.
Okay.
Love grows like a weed once we plant the seed. It's really true, even with my friend Carol.
Oh, I agree.
Once it's there,
There's no getting rid of it.
there's no getting rid of it. You can hide from it. You know that with your beloved first wife and other people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Once it's there, it's there.
There isn't a lover I still feel something for.
Yes. It's really there. It's very nice. I don't know what it is. What does that planting the seed mean? Jeez, what does that mean?
I think it's the investment, that first initial spark, and then the investment is kind of like, is putting that, is you taking the seed and putting it into the ground and then letting that grow.
A masculine image, plant the seed. I think once a certain connection is made, we're bonded.
Yeah.
And the bond is something real. You probably can't be seen, although knowing you could probably see it in. You can see, they've done videos of couples. 15 minutes on the set.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell, they're scientifically predicting how long, you would like this, how long they're going to stay together.
Mm-hmm. I
Just
believe
the
that.
stance, the way they talk to each other.
Sure.
You can hear the way I knew when my friend's wife called him to the phone. Ronald, is someone on the phone? I knew it was over. I knew it was over, and
Yeah.
it was.
The courtesy was gone.
Yes, just the way, the voice, yes.
And that's one of the things I have to say. I enjoyed with my ex-wife, and I enjoyed with the person I was with afterwards for a number of months. That I agree with you. I think that when the courtesy ends, and if the courtesy ends right away, you're doomed. But I think when you stop considering the other person's feelings, I think you're already on the way to to an end.
Although this says that once you plant it, it's still there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder if it dies. It's never died with me.
Me either. No.
So maybe
And I've had some really bad breakups.
Yes.
But still, if you
once the
connection is made,
we're made, there must be cells, or there's mirror cells, for a little child will mirror what they see.
Oh, well, I definitely believe that once you get together with someone, once you befriend somebody, you learn from each other in many different ways, and you take on each other's best attributes. And we were talking about this previously. I had a lover who was very dynamic. Exceedingly dynamic, very well known, very well liked, and I took that example. And when she came back around and said, "I'd like to try again," I said, "No, I'm good." But I've taken the very best part of you,
that's very nice.
and I've taken the very best part of you into myself, and it's working wonders in my life. Thank you.
And you're still with me.
And you see, yeah,
some
so
way.
you're always with me, yes. but I just don't have to deal with the dysfunction of the person being there. So yeah, I think I think
You
we pick
paid
up.
your dues.
Yeah, I think we pick up.
Forgive these two men talking on Michael Mack's God Talk High shows.
I think we're attracted to certain attributes from and I think some of those are things from our past, people from our past, and we keep picking the same people with the same attributes and making the same mistakes, or we pick people with different attributes, things that we want to be, that we think are beautiful in them, that we aspire to be, and I think that's when the real growing happens, for both parties, hopefully.
So much to say, but I want to get to the next poem. But
Let's go.
oh, well, okay. This is the poem. It's strange. This poem, which is not one of my favorites. I mean, I love them all. They're my little children. Has like 1,000 hits on my blog.
And where's your blog located?
My blog is Michael Coran blogspot.com. I think that's what it is. Jeez. But I've got 1,000 hits on this in the last week.
I'm not surprised.
I
said
don't
the thing
mind.
when you told me.
They don't look at any of the other poems.
Well, I mean, look
The
at
other
the
poems have one hit. This has 1,000. I don't understand it.
I totally get it.
But how do they even know?
Well,
That's the same.
Let's recite it, and
Okay.
then we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. A child's faith. Already, it's a standout.
Yeah.
A child's faith, always surprising everyone and thing, move us to dance, sing, and smile, and smiling.
I'm going to read it again.
Please.
A child's faith, always surprising. That's what hopefully the show has been. Every one and thing move us to dance, just like you, Q. Sing, smiling. I'm going to read it again without interrupting myself. A child's faith, always surprising. Every one and thing move us to dance, sing, smiling. It is a sweet poem. I have to-
Beautiful. But again, I think the real clincher is the title. I don't think I've met anybody who can say that they've had a perfect childhood, and I think that as we get older, our experiences definitely test and break our faith.
Oh, and when we have it again, you and I think, when we get rid of our judgments and just take life as it is, and I mean, I don't know where judgment should be. Now, back to the earlier one. Love grows like a weed once we plant the seed. One more up. So I find that sometimes when people really like me, and there's love in their heart, and I haven't felt that yet, it sinks in.
You haven't felt that from me, Michael? I'm sorry. I tried to show you that all.
No, I'm saying
From
when I
somebody-
haven't. I'm thinking of someone in particular who I was really interested in, and she wasn't really interested in me. And then after I was no longer available, she became very interested in me and greeted me, hi. I thought it was a little strange. And after a while, I start to love her too, and I feel I'm bonded with her too, not as a sweetheart. So that is also how love grows. I guess if someone loves you and whatever the time, they can sneak into your whatever that is, your heart, and and you can feel a bond. That happens to you too, I would imagine. No?
No, as you well know, I am pretty.
You're gonna think once it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
no. I mean, I could still care for somebody or love somebody, but once you, I don't deal with people who cut.
Oh yeah, I see.
I mean, if you're a cutter, and I don't mean that you cut yourself. I mean that you suddenly you're really nice, and then all of a sudden you snap.
That was my friend Carol.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't have that around. It's too toxic. It's too toxic
I
for
was
me.
well trained by my mother, fortunately.
Oh,
To
okay.
deal with that all the time.
Well, no, I was
Yeah.
well trained by my mother too.
Massive, yeah.
She was very clear to say that anybody that compromises your sense of integrity and your sense of who you are by constantly, cutting at you and
Yeah, that reminded me of home.
Yeah.
I have more trouble when the love is very nice than I
No.
say, "What's going on?
no,
Help."
for me it has to be nicer. I don't appreciate walking into the door and wondering do I need to walk on eggshells, or what kind of a mood
Yeah,
they're
no,
in?
I would
I don't think
live that
anybody
way.
should
No,
really
well.
live that way.
Well, we're going to wrap it up with the last one because this is what we've been talking about. And there's, unfortunately, it runs on from page one, this page to the next page. And you have to, it has to be higher because that what we see blocks it. Okay, even a little higher. Yes, you focus this so well.
Thank you. My turn.
Yep.
Sensation celebration. After loving I hate being, attached till cries, rising through my jangling psyche, water my eyes, sensing your eyes. Healing our eyes. Feeling our eyes? I
Yeah,
can't-
feeling our eyes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not getting it. Oh,
I'm
there
gonna
it
read it
goes.
again. Okay.
Please.
You can go back to another page. Sensation celebration. This is what I was talking about. I'm good with the cutting people. But after loving, I hate being attached. Till cries rising through my jangling psyche, water my eyes, sensing your eyes, feeling our eyes.
You know, that's really interesting. You really struck a chord with me.
And we have 45 seconds. Go for the
45
chord.
seconds. All right. Yeah, I get that. And I think a lot of guys get this, you know, that they suddenly feel overwhelmed and they need to have their space and they don't want to feel like they're melding and blending with the person. And they don't want to feel like they're being imposed on. So I really resonated with that, suddenly wanting to, you know,
Yes, and then
hate being attached.
and then wanting that feeling in your eyes to feel Q coming through. Boy, there's a poem. Q coming through. Well, thank you
Thank you, Cambridge.
for joining us.
We hope you
For-
enjoyed our.
Michael Max God Talk Guy with and this is filling in. We needed two of us to fill in for Michael. Henry